Hey guys, welcome back to Ohio State Football with Scarlet and Gray. It's hard to say this, but the football season is almost halfway over. We're counting an extra game about a third of the way through the season, a little over that. So we are going to recap the Buckeyes' performance thus far, talk a little bit about the Rutgers game, talk about the scrum, the coaches' scrum, the players' scrum, the scuffle there, and we're going to get into that, break that down, and our biggest surprises of the season thus far, the things that shocked us, the things that in a good way, the things that in a bad way, all that kind of stuff. So keep it right here. We always appreciate you guys watching. Real quick ask, Buckeyes are 5-0. So help us follow this team all the way to 12-0. Give us a subscription on this channel if you want to see the Buckeyes go 12-0 and help us grow this show and cover the Buckeyes come. But we're looking for that big undefeated statement, 12-0 this season. All right, guys, without further ado, I'm going to bring in my co-host. We're going to break it down. Mr. Florida Corey, what's up, man?
Not much, brother. How you doing?
Good, good. I am excited to get into this with you, Corey, jumping straight into things. All right, Ohio State took care of business versus Rutgers. There's not a ton of schematics to break down there. We saw some surprises, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Maybe the highlight of the game was a low light if you're looking at things at a humanitarian level, right? But no, we're entertainers, right? We're entertainers. We're here. Are you not entertained? That would have been perfect if Ryan Day turns to the camera after the scuffle. Is this not why you are here? But
takes his shirt off for no reason. Like, what the Ryan, calm down.
Ohio State up 39 points late in a game.
Does that mean they covered? They were favored by 39. I don't know how that works.
I think it's a break even if it's if there's no half.
I'm not a gambler, so I don't know.
Yeah, me either. But anyways, Ohio State is up 39. A punt block is on. Punter rolls out, and I'm not even going to call it a fake because I just don't think it was a fake punt. It was a read. And Ohio State rolls out, picks up the first down. Granted, a little bit of tension because you're up so much. Someone could just say, just kick it away. But, Corey, in my mind, that was a read. There was no containment on the edge. It was a punt block.
I agree.
And the punter just kind of went off instinct. Yeah. And then he got blown up out of bounds. Coaches come over. Greg Schiano crosses the field. It looks like to just help get his player back. But he never really grabs his player and turns around. He really comes straight for Ryan Day. What did you think, Corey? In that situation, did you think Schiano had any right to be upset?
Absolutely 1,000% not. This is the king of trick plays. I swear he's annoying to play against because it's like trick play after trick play, 47 quarterbacks. I think he one point put the kicker in at quarterback for no. I don't know. It was a mess. It was a revolving door of quarterbacks in there, and the little reverses. He did this 2 years ago, by the way, if y'all remember, 2020. It was just like, gosh, every freaking play is a gimmick play. I get it. I understand it. You got to move the ball however you can. You're not going to just straight up go against Ohio State and go mano a mano with them. He knows that. He's smart enough to know that. But again, it's annoying to watch. But a guy who does that, to get upset that a punter made a read, is the biggest crybaby, whiny thing of a coach. If you can stop it, stop it. I'm of the mindset, if I'm a coach, right, and my team's getting blown out, keep blowing us out. We need to learn a lesson. If we can't stop it, we can't stop it. That's just all there is to it. I hate the mercy rule. I can't stand it. It's sports. It's not life or death. If you're going to get embarrassed, well, then practice better, play harder. I don't know what to tell you. Get better players. I don't know, because there's plenty of talent in New Jersey. The punter clearly was going to kick it, and he saw the opening. And we would all be, Johnny, as fans, I bet you Coach Day and Parker Fleming, or is it Parker Fleming? Yeah. He'd be upset in the film room, like, look at all that space and you didn't take it. In a game where the outcome could be decided, you need to take that every time. Even though the outcome was not to be decided by that, I'm glad the punter saw that and like, oh, I'm gone. Because when we're playing Penn State at Penn State, it's a close game and we need something like that.
Yes,
I want that. Yes. I want that punter to be. This is basically a practice game at this point. Let them do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, and Greg Schiano said afterwards is, hey, I got no ill will with Ryan Day. Keep in mind, Ryan Day fire Greg Schiano is probably his first order of business once. So and look, I got no, in the heat of the moment, we can all do competitive things, red-blooded American male things, kind of testosterone boils over. But he said, look, basically my player was over there surrounded by a sea of, Ohio State players. I was going over there to protect him. And I got no problem with that, but he never grabbed the guy and just turned around. He grabbed he went in straight on day. So, yeah, I'm with you 100%. All right, guys, what do you think? Like this problem, if you have like this video, if you have no problem with the fake punt
problem,
yeah, if you have no problem with that, I don't know. Again, it's not even a fake; it's just a rollout read. There's no containment on the edge. I could see the kicker kicking it and saying, "Hey, coach, I would have ran sportsmanship." That's the only acceptable answer to not have ran that at the time. Corey, moving on past the game, kind of a snooze fest. I actually didn't watch because I'm boycotting Rutgers games. I just, I was thinking about this. I went hunting instead, and I was thinking about, how mad I would have been if I didn't go hunting and watched that game instead. And Corey, think about this. We have to watch Rutgers football games, a guaranteed Rutgers-Ohio State matchup every single year. And definitely the only way to escape an Ohio State-Rutgers game is death. And I, for one, think that's a small price to pay. Sign me up, because it is, and we're never getting out of it. It's awful. But anyways, we got through that game. Corey, it's sad to say it's a third of the way through the season, over a third of the way through the season. That is, where's it go? We spent all off season. That's why I hate bad matchups. You only get 12 weeks, man. You only get 12 weeks, 52 weeks. You only get 12, 13 weeks. That's why I hate bad matchups. Anyways, we're fighting Toledo, Arkansas State, and Rutgers. Now, big surprises.
Michigan State's starting to look like that too.
Yeah, big surprises through the season, Corey. I'm going to ask you if you had certain things on your bingo card. You don't have to elaborate greatly, but here we go. Did you have on your preseason bingo card Miyan Williams clearly being running back one?
It's not that it was clear. I knew it was possible because we all knew Miyan Williams was good. But I thought Henderson would be just a notch better. And not that Henderson's been bad, but he hasn't been, necessarily the explosive. Nothing special. Williams is honestly looking special. And think about this. Williams is arguably one of the best running backs in the country right now, I would say. And I'm not saying he is the best. I say he's one of them. I don't know who's the best. But he's competing with Bijan Robinson to be that top flight running back. Bijan, who's obviously a Texas guy who spurned Ohio State. And we ended up getting Miyan Williams, and everybody was upset about it. Now Miyan Williams is like, holy smokes, this dude he's him. So he had a huge breakout game yesterday, obviously. 189 yards, 5 touchdowns, a 9-yard per carry average. But can we give a quick note to Justin Fry, who's clearly fixing this offensive line in the run game?
For sure. Now, last year, I will say in the Rutgers game, the run game looked really fixed too. And it clearly wasn't. But
we've done it all season.
You can exactly. You've seen. I do think short yardage really still needs some work. But as a whole, it is much better than what it was. More diverse. I think it's great. Do you think Tony Alford absolutely needs to say both guys healthy going forward? Miyan, you're taking the first rep.
I would say so, but they definitely need to split reps because you want them both fresh later in the year, and they're both capable of carrying the load. So you want them. I mean, going forward, you just into the November month, you want both guys healthy.
Yeah, but see, they don't do it that way. Last game before this one, Miyan had like 9 carries. Trey had 21. If anything, I think.
Well, I think that's because the game was a blowout and they wanted Trey to get their reps late in the game. I think that's more what that was. That was late in the game. He was getting the reps. I mean, it was like second half. So we were already way ahead. I mean, it wasn't even like game was and I mean, it's more of along the lines of just it's a way of keeping Miyan fresh and letting Henderson work out the kinks in his vision. And because I mean, even Ryan Day's talked about he's not hitting the lanes correctly.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe it was.
I think that was more what it was.
I personally hate even split reps because running backs get better the more you hand them the ball, and you have to let your biggest guy get better.
I got you.
Henderson got 21 carries, never looked special. If you give Miyan 21 carries, he is going to look special.
Cool, like he did
at
yesterday.
some point. Yeah. But all right, next bingo card. Preseason bingo card, Corey. Did you have Tommy Eichnburg playing like an All-American?
No.
Tommy Eichenberg's so good, Corey. I think I'm going to buy his jersey. Is it possible 35 is going to be the next iconic Ohio State linebacker jersey? I mean, you got to look. What do you the AJ Hawks, the James Laurinaitis, the Chris Spielmans, right? Tommy Eichenberg looks like he's checking all those boxes.
Yeah, this linebacker play in general hasn't been this good since Fickle. Let's be honest. I mean, even Chambers yesterday had a monster day. It's just, but Eichenberg obviously is class 1 right now in the linebacking room, and he had quietly had a really nice day. And yeah, I can't believe he's this good. I thought he'd be better. I really did. I mean, when he came into the season, I thought he'd be better. I'd be like, okay, he's going to be fine. It's not, he's going to be, above average, pretty decent player. Now he's like, wait a minute, you might be the best interior linebacker in the country. What in the heck's going on?
Yeah, I surely didn't see him leaping Steel Chambers last.
It's almost like coaching matters. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, who would have thought that? All right, next preseason bingo card, Corey. Did you have Denzel Burke being an absolute liability like Ryan Gosling in coverage?
I love that you brought that reference out. Get beat like he stole something.
It's not good. It is not good. And I was told preseason that Cam Brown would get his spot stolen by Jordan Hancock. And yeah.
Now Brown and Hancock are both injured.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. Yeah, Denzel Burke is not playing like the guy of old. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's he doesn't turn.
It can't be coaching. Everybody else is playing fine.
Yeah, he just doesn't even turn and look for the ball at all. Yesterday he did, but he did it so late he was lost.
Yeah, but they say he does the right things in practice, like turn his head for the ball. So he's just not. It's like JT with Ryan Day. You know, he's like doing everything right in practice, can't do it in the games. Look, Jair Brown looked great when he played. And nobody. I mean, Bill, you talked to what's his name? The Bill. I can't remember his name. The scouting writer, recruiting writer. Bill Green, and he thought Jair wasn't even Ohio State quality when we got him.
Yeah.
You talk to look at Jair Brown looks good. I think Ja'Kalen Johnson looks fine. He's not perfect, but he looks fine. Cam Brown has looked good other than one bad play against Toledo. I mean, it's Denzel's the one that stands out. If you ask anybody casual fan who watches the games, who's the corner that stands out to you? It's Denzel. Nobody else is like, wow, they all stink. No, it's just Denzel stinks right now.
Yeah, it's so odd too because he did these things last
Washington
year.
Movies.
With JT, you understood why he couldn't do it in games because he had been ruined by previous coaches, bad O-lines, et cetera, et cetera.
Maybe Burke was ruined by previous coaches.
No, he was good. He was good. He did the right things.
So was JT. JT was good.
Right. He was good, but then he went good to bad coaches. We're talking about 1 year later. He was good. Apparently has a good coach now and is bad.
But that's the same thing that happened to JT. He was good.
No.
With Tom Herman, he was good.
Had bad coach had bad coaches that year.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right. I see what you're saying now. Okay.
How did you not see that? I'm moving on.
That's fair.
Did you have Emeka Egbuka being our leading receiver going?
No, but I thought he'd be good. It isn't like it's a surprise necessarily.
I think it was not to you, not to me. You saw me in group chats screaming before the season, guys, why do you act like this guy doesn't exist? Why do you act like this guy doesn't exist?
I was very much on the Harrison hype train, and I still am, but Emeka has been the clear best receiver on the team this year.
Yeah, and I think Marvin's got more like NFL qualities.
Yeah,
and Egbuka kind of uses.
I also think Stroud likes to look at the slot a lot. And
yeah, just he pops open. Yeah, because that outside throws harder. And yeah, I don't think Marvin's not as good as Emeka by any means, but I just think he was a little disrespected. We didn't know about the JSN injury, but I just and I just think that he was a little bit slept on, and I'm like, I don't know why. He seemed to be above Marvin on the depth chart last year, and I just don't This is the other thing, Corey. Before the season, I told you as soon as Egbuka or as soon as Harrison got a catch, that this year fans would be like, I think they're better than Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. And you can see they miss the top three last. Like there's a clear separation with you know, some of the performances. They do miss those guys. Okay. Did you have the defense being all the way as advertised?
I was fully on the Jim Knowles train from the beginning. Yes, I figured there'd be some hiccups. There have been. But this defense, I mean, Jim Knowles has worked miracles. I mean, like we just talked about Tommy Eichnburg playing like an All-American. The front seven is just nasty and vicious. And my favorite thing about Jim Knowles, when we have third and obvious passing downs, that dude is coming at the quarterback. I mean, I noticed it yesterday with Rutgers. He's like, I don't care who the quarterback is. It could be any one of those four guys. We are blitzing everybody. And people say, well, you're putting corners on an island. I don't care. Get to the quarterback. It won't matter.
Yep. Did you have CJ Stroud possibly in a bit of a slowdown season?
Some people would disagree with that premise. I think the last couple of games he looks like he's a little off. I know 5 touchdowns ago was kind of, but he's been sailing the ball a little bit. He's been late on throws. He's been late over the middle a couple of times. A couple of really bad interceptions. I mean, those are just bad interceptions that he's thrown. The one against Rutgers was like, what are you throwing at? What are you looking at there? You're just forcing it.
Well, he often doesn't read. He often, one read is open. Even if it's a touchdown, you look and you're like, option B was a lot more open, dude.
Well, he's missing wide open guys. He's missing wide open. The wheel route to Rossi didn't make any sense when the seam route was wide friggin' open.
Well, because he's got away with that so many times, completing that throw when other guys have been open. You've seen that for years, and you go, you live with it. He's a great thrower. You live with it.
Yeah.
But I thought, me and you both thought, Corey, that it was unfair to expect Rose Bowl CJ every game. That's just unfair to a kid. It's unfair in sport. Like, he's not going against running backs in coverage every, you know what I mean? The one time that game, or not one time, but he did throw at Clark Phillips in that game and got
picked off once, in the end zone.
Off, so it's slightly dominate his. Yeah, it's unfair to expect him to absolutely dominate every game, but I hope he crawls out of it. I think he'll be all right, but it is a little bit of a funk right now.
And also, last note, good for Julian Fleming getting to make an impact this year.
Yep, I'm really glad about that. All right, guys, let us know in the comments who your biggest surprise of the season is. We got to get out of here, but appreciate you guys so much. As always, goodbye. God bless. Go Bucks.